Well, good morning. It is Thursday, webinar day. Tilly Davies here from Marketing CX, and I want to welcome you to today's webinar where we are going to be focusing on how to formulate a LinkedIn marketing strategy. This is a question that I've received often. You know, we talk so loosely about strategies and tactics and so on. But do we actually pay attention to it? And do we actually know how to go about in creating a strategy that is easy to follow and to implement? And the reason why I wanted to stop with the webinars and focus on strategy again, even though we've spent a lot of time on strategies towards the end of last year, is we need to differentiate our brand and stand out in the LinkedIn crowd. It is a very, very busy marketplace, LinkedIn, and unless you are visible and people know that you exist, you're not going to get the results that you're aiming for. So in order to be visible, you will need an effective online marketing strategy. You're going to have a plan on the table that is going to show you step by step what to do. So the strategy is more than just lip service. We should have strategies in place that we can implement. Now, our focus should be on boosting our conversion rates, and we should focus on evolving our business into a popular brand. And in order to do that, we need to take full advantages of the features on LinkedIn so that you can create a strong presence. What's key to me always is you need to differentiate your brand in order to stand out. What makes you different? It is such a busy place, and there are so many businesses similar to yours, and so many people with similar skills to yours. What makes you different? What makes you stand out? What makes people want to connect and engage with you on LinkedIn? And all of this starts with a strategy. And what I'm going to really be focusing on today is how to develop such a strategy. Now, before we get started, I just want to quickly do some introductions. My name is Tilly Davies. I'm the founder and owner of Marketing CX. I come from a strong technical background, moved into the call center industry where I got introduced to social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, way back in 2004, and really got passionate about setting up LinkedIn specifically because it's a B2B platform. It is for professionals, and to use these platforms to grow my business. I started Marketing CX in 2015 and was very fortunate that I managed to work with some of the larger corporates worldwide. We are an international concern, and the majority of our clients are overseas and not based in South Africa. And we've been having fun ever since we started. I do not want to waste a lot of time on the introductions today. Just a quick announcement. If you haven't been on my Wednesday Gems, during my Wednesday Gems, every Wednesday at 8 o'clock, I specifically go into LinkedIn and show you some of the LinkedIn features and functions and how you can use it. Currently, I'm busy with a series on searches and how do you find your ideal client using LinkedIn and the functions and features within LinkedIn so that you can find that. So that just quickly around the Wednesday Gems. Do join me on the Wednesday Gems. We also have a series, Coffee with Tilly. Have a look on my profile. You can subscribe to the Coffee with Tilly. It's 3 to 4 minutes where I encourage you on a daily basis around marketing, social selling, business, LinkedIn, and so on. So do subscribe to those. The feedback so far has been very positive. People really find value in bite-sized information. Now for today, as I said, I want to jump in straight away because we're going to be a little bit all over the show because I want to do a live demo. I want to show you how I do LinkedIn marketing strategies, not only for myself as well as for my clients. And before I go through the 10-step marketing strategies that we follow, I just want to stand still for 2 minutes and explain to you. I started the webinar off by saying you need to stand out in the crowd. Now, next week, I'm going to focus on LinkedIn metrics, and I'm going to show you how to measure your performances, what analytics you need to have on LinkedIn, and some of the benchmarks that I discovered over the years that is important for you. But in order to substantiate the marketing strategy today, there's one that I wanted to highlight to you so that you can understand why this is so critically important. You know, everything to me on LinkedIn revolves around my profile. It is my personal brand. It's where I start the relationships that I have on LinkedIn. However, if you go look at your LinkedIn profile views, and let's say you have 100 profile views, the analytics mentioned you've got 100 profile views. That is 100 profile views over 1 day. 100 profile views over 90 days, which gives you 1 profile view per day. And apologies, I got a little bit sidetracked there for a moment. So 100 profile views over 90 days is going to give you 1 profile view per day. You're basically invisible. Nobody can see you. And this is, I find it so often when I start my coaching programs and I sit down and analyze my clients' accounts. On average, people get about 300 profile views. That's 3 profile views a day. You're basically invisible. And this is why you are absolutely battling to get going and getting the results you want, and why you have to work so hard on LinkedIn to be seen and to be heard. Because nobody can see you. Nobody knows that you exist. The profile view, I always explain, and your profile on LinkedIn, I always explain to my clients, is similar to that of a website. If you spend thousands and thousands of dollars on developing a website for yourself, but nobody ever visits it, it's money wasted. And your profile is the same. If you have spent time on optimizing it and positioning your personal brand professionally, but nobody sees it, you're not going to get the results that you're looking for. And this is where the marketing strategy is the first step that you need to take. You need to define a marketing strategy that is going to help you to implement the right tactics in order to drive traffic to your profile. Without traffic to your profile, without people seeing your profile, everything else you do is going to come across as spammy, and you're not going to get the engagement on your profile that you're looking for. In other words, what you need to do and what you need to focus on is to get your ideal client to see you. And you need to devise a plan of how you're going to achieve that. We follow a 10-step marketing strategy plan. And I just want to interrupt myself here before I get started. We do have load shedding. I have all of my backup powers in place, but you know how it goes with these things. From time to time, technology fails us, and then I'm not going to have the feedback that or the webinar I'm hoping to have. So if anything does happen, it is recorded, and we are live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn, I believe. So if anything does happen, my apologies. I am on backup power. Everything looks fine from my side. So let's hope that I can do this with you today, because I would like to add huge value for you. Now, there's a 10-step marketing strategy that we follow. You've got to understand your business and your business goals, what it is that you are trying to work towards. You need to understand your marketing goals, what it is that your marketing needs to cover in relation to your business goals, and then you need to understand your sales goals. Now, with your marketing and sales goals, what is important is that you know your numbers. I used the example of profile views. We have found the first magic number is you need to get 1,000 profile views. Once you get to 1,000 profile views, we have discovered that that is when you start getting engagement. That is when people start noticing you and when you're becoming more and more visible. The next goal is you need to get to 5,000 profile views. That is when you start getting people reaching out to you. So these are the kind of goals that you need to set for yourself. You need to understand your ideal client persona. You need to understand your competitors and what they are doing. And I'm going to show you today how to do it. It's always a good idea when you do your marketing strategy to do a complete social media audit, your social media. In other words, your Facebook, your Twitter, your TikTok, your Instagram, your LinkedIn profile page, group. Have a look at where you are so that you can almost do a gap analysis. This is my business goal. This is where I am on the social media platforms. So taking all of my goals into consideration, I now see the gap that I need to cover in order to meet my goals, helping you to work with insight. How are you going to build your LinkedIn community? Do your LinkedIn process mappings. Don't just go out and I'm going to send out 20-second connection invites. Do the process mapping. Who are you going to target? What is your message going to be? What's your follow-up going to be? What is going to happen when they ignore you, ghost you? What's going to happen when they say yes? What's going to happen when they say no? If you have that kind of understanding, you are going to get the results that you're looking for. Look at your engagement messaging and content strategies on LinkedIn. If you don't do this, you're just all over the show. And if you are starting to get confused with what you're doing, so will your audience, so will your community. And when you confuse people, they take no action. So it's very important to do that. And it's important that we know our numbers. So determine upfront your reporting structures. Look at the analytics, which I'm going to cover next week, but look at your analytics. Look at what you want to track and why. Now, what I want to do is I want to go through and take you through a document and start showing you how we do this. And hopefully this would be most helpful for you. So We have a standard document that we use, and we use it in our coaching services. We use it with our LinkedIn Done For You clients, and we always go through the 10 steps in our LinkedIn strategy document. Now, the first thing that you need to look at is your business goals. Now, a lot of times when I talk to people about their business goals, they talk financial, return on investment. That is only one aspect. What are you planning for your business? In other words, are you going to develop additional products or services? Are you going to make certain products or services redundant? What is your goals with your products and services? How many clients do you want for each service is important. Human resources. How are you going to train and upskill your staff? What is your team complement? Are you going to need to employ more people? Facilities. Are you going to do work from home, hybrid? Do you need to move into an office space? Would you need to expand? You need to look at all of your business goals holistically, financial. You need to do your revenue, your profit margins. You need to sit down with your accountant and really look at what is it that you're trying to achieve. Do you want to upscale your business? Do you want to increase in those manners, and so on? So the business goals is more than just sitting down and go, Samsak, I want to have a 20% increase in my business. 20% increase on what? The more specific you are with your goals, the more specific it's going to happen. I'm not going to go into SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable, and so on. I'm not, this is not a business goal webinar, but what I want to get your attention to is it's very important to understand what you are aiming for. Your marketing goals. Now, I am specifically talking about LinkedIn and a LinkedIn marketing strategy. So we do an introduction campaign. We do the growth, the engagement, the nurture. You need to understand how, if you have got 1,000 followers and 500 connections where we start, how would you like to increase that? Do you want to have 10,000? Is that your goal? Are we moving towards 10,000 followers, 5,000 connections? What is the growth that you're looking at? Are you looking at growing your profile, your page, and your group? So be very specific on the growth on LinkedIn. LinkedIn engagement. Do you want to generate leads and prospects from your engagement? How often do you want to engage on, how many posts do you want to engage? How many groups do you want to engage on? You need to understand what your goals are, and nurturing your existing community. How are you going to nurture them? Are you going to post once a week? Are you going to message them once a month? You need to understand your nurturing. What's also important in the marketing goals is your results. How many leads do you want to generate over a period of time? How many marketing qualified leads do you want to generate? The difference to me always is a lead is someone that shows some interest. A marketing qualified lead is someone that asks for an appointment, that asks to meet with you and to take the relationship off LinkedIn. All of that needs to be built into your marketing goals. And you need to look at your sales goals. How many sales opportunities do you want? How many sales presentations are you going to do? Do you need to do 10 sales presentations so that you can have one sales conversion. What is your numbers? What is your goals that you're working towards? How many clients do you want to onboard in a specific period of time? Now, in doing your goals like this, you need to do the numbers and you need to do the metrics, because if you're going to have one client a month, but your goal in your business is that you have 20 new clients for the year, that's not going to work. And if your salespeople needs 100 to get 10 clients, we know what the marketing needs to do. So it's really go sit back to the drawing board and look at your goals holistically. The next step is the second step is you need to map your ideal client. Now, we have designed a total different mapping for LinkedIn. You know, a lot of times when we talk about the ideal client or your client personas, we talk about demographics like, do they own a car, do they own a house, are they male or female, and so on. It doesn't work on LinkedIn because we do not have that data. So we've designed a system of the 4 main criteria of our ideal client: title, geography, size of company, and industry. So we identify what is the 4 main criteria. We identify what is the goals and motivation of our ideal clients. What is their pain points? What is their wish list? What is their needs, their requirements, their problems that we are solving for them? What is their solutions that they're looking for? And then we have our 3 main content pillars, which is really the 3 main topic points or points of interest that we've identified for our ideal clients. And then in general, what is their interest? And we find this all on LinkedIn, and I'm going to show you in a minute how we derived to that. But what we want to know in the interest is, where do they go on LinkedIn? Who do they follow? What do they engage with? What groups do they belong to? What newsletters do they read? So what is their interests in LinkedIn? I'm not interested whether they are vegetarians or whether they like sea or mountain holidays. This is all related to LinkedIn. Where do we find them? So mapping out your ideal client persona is very important going forward. Step 3 is a competitor analysis. And what we need to do in the competitor analysis is we need to get insight into our competitor analysis. Now, there are a couple of ways that we do this. And I'm just going to stop sharing because I want to take you into LinkedIn and I want to show you how you're going to find out how they're doing on their websites as well. So going into LinkedIn itself, I just want to show you on LinkedIn how it actually works. So if you go to a company page, maybe not my own, let me go to another company page. So if you go into a company page, I can maybe try and go to any company page. Let's go to Cisco. So if we go to the Cisco company page and we look at the company page, we can find a lot of information from the insights. So if you look at their insights, you can see the company, the employees. You can see if they're in a growth spurt. You can see the distribution of the functions. Are they hiring at the moment? You can see the latest hires, and so on. So you can get a lot of information just by going through the insights. We also look at the videos. In other words, when last do they post? Is videos a strategy of theirs? Do they get a lot of engagement on their videos? So we look at their videos. We look at their events. How often do they host events? How popular is their events? And so on. Then we will do a general one in their posts and just go through their posts and see what is the engagement on their posts. Do they get a lot of comments? What is the kind of posts that they write that gets a lot of content? So this is very, very helpful in our audit of our competitors, because it gives us an idea what worked for them. So if it works for them, it could be something that we can look at incorporating into our strategies to make sure that it works well for us. What we do as well is, once we've worked through their LinkedIn company page, we use a tool called formulate. Now, if I, for instance, go into Cisco over here, I'm going to find their website over here. So what I can do is I can copy their website, go into formulate, and go and this is free. It doesn't cost you a cent. So all you need to do is just go and put in their details, and here you can find a lot of information on what is their global ranking, how many pages per visit, what is their bounce rate, what is the average duration, so you can get a full overview of your competitors. So the competitor analysis is extremely important. And normally what we recommend you do is focus on at least 2 to 3 competitor analysis. Personally, I like to do between 3 to 5 of my competitors, so that I can have a complete overview of what is happening out there and so on. So we go through this in quite lengthy detail, and it's extremely important for you to go through at least a couple of examples. The next thing that we do is a social audit. And what we want to do is we want to audit our own social media platforms. Do your website on formulate. See how your website is performing. Look at your Facebook page. Note down where you are. How many followers do you have? Look at Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, whichever platforms you have. Get a holistic view of all of your social media platforms and how you are performing. The next thing that you want to do is note your successes and your failures on social media. Now, we would go in and take each platform. LinkedIn, what is my successes? What did I do well? Did I meet targets? Any successes that you had? My content is performing well. My profile views are performing well. Do the same on every single platform. And then you want to have a look at your failures. And on your failures, you want to have a good look at what do you need to improve on. Which areas are areas of concern for you? And then known problem areas. You know, any problems that you're currently experiencing. I don't get enough engagement. My copywriter's content is not working well. I don't know what to write. Whatever the problems is that you currently experience on social media platforms, note that down. Where this is becoming helpful for you is that at the end of the day, you can go in and ensure that you are aware of where you need to improve. And if you go back to your goals, you can say, I need to do more training, I need coaching, I need to outsource, I need help, because this is just not working for me. And I don't have the time to go figure it out if I want to meet my business goals. So all of this is important for you to understand where you are, where you want to be, and what is that gap analysis that I've been talking about. Once you've done all of this, you now want to start mapping your processes. In other words, you want to be very clear on step-by-step what you're going to do in order to meet your goals, in order to overcome your challenges, your problem areas, and so on. So what you want to do, and you want to include in this all of the analysis you've done with your competitors, your own social media audit, and so on. So you want to map out how you are going to build your community on LinkedIn. Are you going to use the LinkedIn group? If you're going to use the LinkedIn group, what is the steps you're going to take? We like to map it out graphically, as well as bullet pointed down, step 1, step 2, because ultimately this becomes our processes and our procedures daily for our teams and so on, and our clients' teams and so on. So you need to map out your community. The next thing you want to do is you want to start mapping out your social selling processes. So as I said in the beginning, we focus on the induction campaign. So if you have more than one campaign that you want to run, you need to map out exactly how you're going to do that, and how, step by step, graphically as well as in bullet points. First I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to focus on that. We need to look at the engagement strategy. How are you going to engage? And again, step by step, map out your strategy. What is your engagement going to be? Where are you going to go on LinkedIn? And this is now important because now you know where your ideal clients go. Build this into your engagement strategy. And again, step by step on how to do your engagement strategy. Messaging strategy. Instead of just going and grab a couple of people that you found in a search and start reaching out to them, know and understand exactly what you want to say, why you want to say it, and how you're going to measure your success at the end of the day. Again, we have a very graphical display of how we're doing our messaging in our introduction campaigns and so on. Next, we need to spend time on the content strategy. Now, what is important in the content strategy is you need to go and be very clear on what is the message that you want to get out, what is going to be your tone, what is your brand looking like. You know, currently we're busy branding me with Coffee with Tilly. It's starting to take off where people will say, can we have a coffee? Meaning they want to meet with me. So you've got to start getting your brand message built into your content and so on. We work on 3 pillars, your three main areas that is going to position your personal brand on your profile and your business brand on your page very specifically, so that you work targeted. You're going to have a primary message and 4 to 5 secondary messages for each one of these pillars. And this is going to give you an overview of what you're going to talk about. What is the direction that you want to take with your content strategy? And then you want to look at text posts, image posts, documents, newsletters. What type of content do you want to create? And don't frustrate yourself, because newsletters is a full article. Don't go and want to publish a newsletter every week if you do not have time to write it. Only commit to what is achievable and doable. Your content frequency, how many posts on your page, how many posts on your profile, how many posts on your newsletter, in your group, and so on. And then you can do topics. Where are you going to source this from? You can source it from looking, do research in LinkedIn. You can do answerthepublic.com. Answerthepublic.com, I've showed you this before in webinars, but answerthepublic.com is a website where you can go see the most recent questions people were searching for on Google. And so on. Look at blog posts and anything else. Now you've got your content message matrix and all of your messaging that you're going to do for the content pillars that you've highlighted. And you want to go content, voice, and tone. So tone is really to do with the what, and voice is the how. In other words, do you want to be creative and witty? Do you want to come across as professional and a specialist? Skills and quality, performance and scalable. What is the voice that you're going to use? And the tone is really what you're going to say. So it's the what and how. We do a content audience mapping. And the content audience mapping is similar to your ideal client. However, this is more community-based. The people that's going to read your content, that's going to be interested in your content, how far divorced are they from your ideal client, or how closely are they related? Remember, the beauty of LinkedIn is you're not only going out for the, you're not just going out to find your ideal client, but you can find people that can introduce you to your ideal client as well. And this is why it's different. And then last but not least is you need to highlight how are you going to monitor your progress. In other words, what kind of reporting are you going to need? And what is the frequency of those reports? And what are you going to do within each report? So that is then basically the 10 steps and how we focus on creating a marketing strategy that is going to focus on your goals, your ideal clients, your competitors, your audits, and your mapping. It's it looks like a daunting task, but literally, if you brainstorm this, it can take you an afternoon, and you have got a marketing strategy that is going to guide you step by step on how to achieve this. Now, once again, we do this for our clients, and especially in our coaching program. Our coaching program is a 12-week program, 12 modules. It consists of a training membership portal where you will have access to that over 6 months. So that you can learn how to use LinkedIn, all of its functionality and so on. And during the 12 weeks, there's a 1-hour coaching session with me per week, where I'm going to give you homework, look over your shoulder, let you implement it, see your results, and realign your activities so that you do get the results that you want. As I said, I'll give you weekly homework. We give you assistance with your graphics because it's always very important that you have professional graphics. There's a 6-month support. So after the 3-month coaching, you will get an additional 3 months support from us via our LinkedIn group and our WhatsApp. And we will have a share directory where we can share all of the coaching files and templates and so on that we share with you. Things that you do get is the funnel system, methodologies. There's a 160 plus messaging booklet, ebook that you receive from us, and so on. So I almost want to urge you today, if you do not get 1,000 profile views and you're not close on going to your 5,000 profile views, it's always easier to find answers. I always say, find a guide, find success. Sometimes all we need is just to go in and get someone to get us on track so that we can get the results we're aiming for. I specifically wanted to do this webinar as we are now entering the 2nd month of 2023. Have you met your goals and targets for January? Are you going to meet your goals and targets for 2023? Basically, our social selling roadmap coaching is designed for people like you so that I can help, guide, and assist you to have the kind of results that you do need. Again, you can order today by going to our website, and I'm just quickly going to show you. We do have the coaching program website that gives you all of the details on how to enroll and engage with us today so that you can get the results that you deserve for 2023. I'm just going to look at so if there's any questions. So basically, I can't see any questions at the moment. Great stuff. I've got someone here that says so far all going well, no breakdown. I take it that that was around my load shedding. We made it, guys, to the end on backup power, and that was absolutely awesome. If you want to see the recording of the webinar again, it will be on my YouTube channel. And I believe it's all the details is in the channel. If for any reasons we had technical difficulties, this is recorded. I will upload it to our various social media channels. And do join me next week when I am going to discuss and talk about metrics, benchmarks. What do you need to work towards? It's going to be most helpful, especially if you are busy setting up your marketing strategies. So I thank you for your time, and I thank you for your support, and I thank you for the opportunity to serve you. I will see you next week in next week's webinar. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.